Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com, and what I'm doing today is picking some kale that overwintered in this garden bed. Oftentimes my kale, if I leave it in the garden over the winter, it dies. It doesn't survive the winter. Sometimes it does survive. Some varieties of kale can handle colder temperatures than others. Some varieties of kale are more able to handle the extremes of winter and the freezing of the soil and all that sort of stuff. And it varies by location and region and all kinds of things. Anyway, this is a kind of wild kale. I call it Siberian kale, but I'm not exactly sure what. These are my own saved seeds. And when it survives the winter and starts growing the second year, what it wants to do is go to seed. And that's what this is about to do. I don't know how obvious that is, but it's making flowers. It hasn't really started fully going to seed, but it's going to. And each of these plants will grow maybe 2-3 feet high when it makes flowers. And then when that's happening, the flavor of these leaves goes downhill pretty dramatically. Right now they taste very good. Now these are not leafing out the way they would normally leaf out. Last year when these plants were growing, the leaves were big and lush and broad. Now, because it's their second year and they're a biennial plant, they make their seeds in the second year. They're making these short, tight leaves, and the whole plant is organized. All it wants to do is get a lot of energy stored in its roots, and what it wants to do is make flowers and make seeds. But it is producing some foliage, and this time of year, not much longer, it's still pretty good because we're still getting frost-like temperatures at night. Cold temperatures make all cold crops taste good. So all I'm going to do is harvest these, and what I'm going to do is I'm leaving some of the stem, right? I mean, I got a lot here, and it's all going to be harvested today. So I usually just slide up a bit and take the half the stem, okay? And I also take the floret, right? So you got like a little, each one of these plants has a tip like that, which has a little flower. That's completely edible at this stage anyway, right? Now, I mean, there are people that talk about picking these and eating when they go to flower and they actually go to seeds, the flowers make a kind of pod, and you can eat the pod, but it's not like great eating. It's something you'd eat if you were desperate, that sort of thing, or you know, you were really into eating everything out of your garden, that sort of thing. You know, some principled stance you were making, I suppose. But flavor-wise, the pods are not very good, right? But the little floret is pretty good. And everything at this time of the year still tastes really good. In a couple weeks, these will not be good anymore. But more importantly, I have to clear this bed and get it ready to plant something else, right? Which is a key thing. But if you can get them to survive the winter, this is a great way to have some early greens. Normally, like I've got kale growing in another bed. It's less than 1 inch high right now. And even when that has nice big long leaves, let's say in July, look at that floret, it won't taste that good. Summer kale has a more bitter taste. I don't care what the variety is, compared to fall kale and even early winter kale, because of the effect that cold temperatures has on the flavor of the leaves, right? They just taste better when they're subjected to cold temperatures. So really, this is the best kale I'm going to have in my garden right up until October, really. So if you can get your kale, and there's tricks you can do. You can cover the kale, shield it from the extremes of the winter. If you can get it to survive the winter somehow and get it so that it's coming in this time of year, I mean, it's just a great free extra value green to get, you know, out of your kale. And it's not hard to harvest. Now, I mean, if I really wanted to, I could leave some of these in the ground and let them grow, and they would make flowers and they would make seed. And I actually do have a couple kale plants set aside in another part of the garden for that purpose, because it's good to have. I mean, you don't have to do this every year. You let one kale plant go to seed, you get so many seeds off of that, it'll last you like 5 years, unless you're selling them or something, right? So it's not something you have to do every year, but every once in a while, I'll do it. But kale seeds will last a long time. Anyway, I'm about halfway done here. I think you get the picture. You know, pretty quick, easy thing to do. Nice, fresh, good tasting green early in the growing season before everything starts to happen. A nice little bonus from last year's garden. I hope you found this interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.